Hello guys, welcome to this week's analysis video. It's good to be here again. So we had an amazing week last week. We did a couple of analysis, a long video actually, you could check back, and many of the analysis, many of our predictions are playing out pretty much nicely. Right, so this week I'm going to be going through the pairs again. As usual, we'll go through all the pairs on my watch list and then pick those ones we would focus on for the week, and we are going to be really fast so this video doesn't get too long. I want it to be very precise and very informative. Right, so as usual we'll begin with BTC USD. As you can see on my charts from last week, we already have the charts mapped out. Right, it's already all mapped out. As at last week, the price was I think pretty much around there. I can't really remember right now, but this is where we are right now as at today. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since the market broke, so initially the market went or broke our trend line, and we just waited. We're waiting for a confirmation, so we wanted it to break, retest, and then give us a close above here that we can enter. All right, but it fell back down. That's why it's very important for you to always wait for a retest and a confirmation before going in, especially when you're trading a retest and retest strategy. It's very important. So it did this, fell back close below this level, and then that's creating a new low. So we are going to adjust it like so. Yeah, great for this week. Okay, so far the price has done nicely as we expected. We're actually waiting for the price to get to this point. That's where our take profit level is. So if you haven't taken advantage of this trade, I think you can pretty much still join, just that your risk to reward ratio is going to be slightly different from mine. But if you don't mind, that's okay. But we can't guarantee the price is going to fall back down. Where is my undo? Great. Okay, so perfect. Right, so this is where we are. There's nothing we are doing on BTC today. There's nothing. We're just going to allow it play out. Let's go to GBPUSD. GBPUSD is playing out. It sort of played out differently than we expected, but we've not entered a trade yet. All right, so we're just waiting for a confirmation. So as of last week, this trend line was available to us. It broke. Right, it firstly broke here, which was good. Coming down from this level, broke the resistance. So breaking the resistance and this trend line is a huge confirmation for us. Then the retest and then closing above it is a huge confirmation for us. All right, so I think I mentioned last week that we took a trade here for because of this reason. Took a trade here, okay, but we got stopped out, of course. And then after we got stopped out, we've not taken another trade yet, just waiting to see how this market plays out. So GBP USD and Euro USD are two tricky pairs because a lot of people are trading these pairs, right? And the back end guys can see, the market manipulators can see something that's supposed to play out normally, based on the textbook, as we would want to say, would slightly be different on GBP USD and Euro USD because of a lot of manipulation. Okay, so ideally this is supposed to go up, but since like I said, because of manipulation, all of this drama is going on. All right, so what we can do, so far it hasn't created a new low or a new high. Let's confirm if it has created a new high. It hasn't created, okay, it has created a new high. It broke this at this point, right? So we could be expecting it to go up. Yeah, that's an added confirmation for us. So it has created a new high here. I think I can make use of my brush. Created a new high here. Oopsie. All right, that's fine. Well, you get the point. Created a new high there, and then retraced. So this is what we can do for this. If you look at the daily time frame, because what I see here is inverse head and shoulder pattern. This is the left shoulder, the head, and then this would be the right shoulder. Okay, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. Let's look at the daily time frame. I think the daily time frame should have a more a representation of this. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is left shoulder, head, and then this is the right shoulder. This is the neckline. So we're going to wait for, I'll bring this down. We're going to wait for the price to give us a break out of this point. That's the next trade we'll be taking on GBPUSD. Just a second. Yeah, great. Okay, so get rid of this and I'll bring this guy down here. Okay, so we won't enter GBPUSD until we have that break, right? Because there could be a whole lot of manipulation. Yeah, I'll just adjust this like so. All right, so yeah, this is perfect. So we'll just wait for a break of this point, and let me get rid of this. Wait for a break of that yellow line there, and we'll wait for a break and a retest before we go in. Okay, ideally I said I love entering my trades at this point. It gives me a better reward to risk ratio, but because of market structure, how it has formed like this, we would rather enter here to be safe. I'm sure some people have already entered about 2 trades. Okay, I'll call it one. This one, and this isn't a very good trade, right? This isn't a very good trade because of this spike here. This, I don't know who enters a trade with this kind of long candle, but that's fine. I don't do that. All right, so waiting for, this is what we need to see on GBPUSD. The price come up and then break. Yeah. All right. Or let me use this instead. We need this. It could close. Once it closes above this level, above this yellow line, it has broken it. All right. Then we need it to come back down, possibly enter here again. If it enters here, that's fine. If it doesn't enter back, that's still okay. But at the end of the day, we just need it to break above here again, close. That would be a confirmation that we are good to go. Come on. All right, guys. So do not enter until you see this. Then we can then take our take profit and stop loss levels to be here. Then this would be below this swing, and then we can aim for the next key level on GBPUSD. So that will be a very beautiful trade for us to risk, right? So let's see how that plays out this week. So we'll be looking at GBPUSD this week. I believe that's clear enough. So let's look at gold, XAUUSD. Okay, so last week we already looked at this pair and we anticipated the price would push up because it broke out from this level. We predicted last week we're expecting gold to push up. So what I'm going to do quickly is I will play just a few minutes clip from last week's video for you guys. It will just be a very short clip, an extract from last week's video, but you can watch the full video later on anyway. From the weekly and monthly is on an upward trend, right? And then I saw this nice formation here. Okay. It has broken. Initially, I took a loss here because at this point I think here, yeah, great. I took a loss here. It came out and then it bounced, and I was expecting, after it broke this, I was expecting it to keep falling, but it didn't, and it then broke out to the top. Right, so let's see how this trade goes. I'm going to be looking at this. I'm already in the trade, as you can see. Okay, guys, so as you can see, that was our prediction last week. All right, so this week, this is where we are as at today. So we are not really doing anything on gold. We'll just sit and watch how the market plays out. Now, like I'll always say, FX is a total game of probabilities. All right, so even as it's here, we are not going to get carried away. All right, the market could easily drop down and hit our stop loss. All right, so let's not get carried away. Okay, so let's look at USDJPY. Okay, USDJPY as well. We took a trade. We already have a running trade on this, but I'll look at this because you can still join the running trade. If you check out the previous video, you'll find the analysis, but you could see we have an upward trend line. I mentioned in the previous video that I would be expecting the market to tap this trend line and then go up, right? But however, we've opened a buy position and we intentionally moved our stop loss slightly lower, right? Slightly lower, just to accommodate any move. So we won't be surprised to see this happen. So you can do either of two things. You can wait until this tap happens and then you can look out for a buying, a reason to buy or an entry to buy, right? Or you could just go ahead and place your buy trade and use our same stop loss. I think that's a good expo for you, and this is where our take profit is. So this is a good 8:1 reward to risk ratio. So we'll skip that and let's see what's happening on USDCAD. Yeah, USDCAD, similarly the same thing. Alright, USDCAD will be taking another sell position if it breaks down to this point. Alright, but we're already in a sell position. You can check the previous video, you'll get the full analysis and the breakdown. Alright, so we've gotten this at a resistance point. It's created a higher high for us here and we've drawn our counter trend line. It broke it and then retested and then closed below it. So we've entered the trade there and put our stop loss above this level. Alright, so let's see how that plays out. We are expecting a good take profit level at the bottom, but however, would take partial profit anytime the price taps this trend line. So let's look at the weekly chart. Whenever the price taps that trend line, we'll take our partial profits just to be on the safer side. Alright, so this is where the trend line is coming from, right? And you can see a beautiful tap of this resistance level thrice. Okay, so any moment this place would, if I believe, because this would be now this is it. I believe if the price taps this line, it's most likely going to push up and break above this level, most likely. All right, so let's watch out for this trend line, because if it taps this trend line, that's going to be the top tap, and as you know, the top tap is always a very strong tap. Okay, so we're not going to wait for the price to hit our level here, this blue line. We're going to take partial profit here and then close our stop loss and then see how it plays out. All right, let's see how that plays out. Is it possible for anyone who hasn't entered this trade to join the trade? Absolutely. It's possible for anyone to join this trade right now. Just follow our parameters and you'll be good. Please always ensure you calculate your risks. You can check, we have a risk calculation video, right? An old video we posted. Watch out for that as well. So let's see what's happening on USDCHF. Do we have any new activity? Nope. It's in the land of nowhere. AUDUSD, yeah, AUDUSD is playing out nicely as well. I don't know if I shared this trade, but I did share the analysis. Okay, so this is where we are on AUDUSD. Okay, it's already moved. We can't go into the trade now. I wouldn't advise you go into the trade now. If it retraces back to this place or close to this level, you can of course jump into the trade. This is a good 6:1 reward to risk ratio. But if you want to join the trade, if that doesn't happen, we can only wait for the price to break this downward trend line. I'll personally get into the trade, a double trade as well, up to this level. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. But up until then, the only reason we'll enter this trade again is if it comes down here. All right, let's look at AUDJPY. Do we have anything here? Okay, so AUDJPY, nope, it's in the land of nowhere. So it looks like we are pretty much going to continue looking at the pairs we've been looking at for. Okay, so this guy is closed. We're going to add him to the checklist. AUD card. Just trying to be fast so this video doesn't get too long. So AUDCAD, let's look at the monthly. Okay, perfect. What are all these trend lines? Okay, this is something I drew some time back. All right, so I noticed this pattern down here and then this pattern as well. So we'll watch how this plays, but up until then it's already on or very close to our resistance level. Okay, so it's very close to our resistance level, so we're going to add it to our checklists and see how this plays out. And okay, great. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a beautiful trade. Can we do, so I would want to draw my trend line from here up onto here, but that's going to be a weird one, so I'd rather use this here and then take it up here. So I told you guys, usually when I see trend lines like this, it kind of gives me an impression that this trade is not going to be a perfect one. All right, because I believe the market doesn't make mistakes. The market doesn't do anything unintentional. All right, everything the market does is very intentional. Right, so we'll just be watching this. However, we'll add it to our watch list for the week and then we'll see how this plays out. All right, AUDCHF. So let's look at AUDCHF. All right, as you can see, we're already in a buy position. Okay, so if you remember, I said we're going to wait for this guy to complete the breakout, retest, and continuation, and it did just that with this candle right here. That's why we went into the trade. All right, great. Now I'm going to get rid of this weekly time frame candle. All right, like this. Well, let's hold on a second and see what this looks like on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, great. So okay, let's leave it and watch how it plays. As you can see, it has already broken it and is currently retesting. We expect to see a close above this. So if we see a close above this, that's a double confirmation the price is going to push up, right? But we won't be taking a second trade because it's very similar to this. There's no point for that. Okay, let's look at AUDNZD. I'm seeing a beautiful double top there. Perfect. AUDNZD is ready for us, so we are most likely going to take a trade on this on Monday before the close of Monday, most likely. But don't be carried away, it hasn't actually broken the double top yet, and we hope this would break. Right, it doesn't close up below this actually. All right, now if you notice, I'm not using the pin. I'm not saying close below the pin. I'm using the body. There's a reason. I'll guide you guys on that eventually. So what we want to see is this. We want to see it break, close, retest, possibly up to this level, and then close back here. Then we can get it. Then we can take our trade. All right, that's what we want to see. So until we see that, we are not jumping in. Let's see if we can draw a counter trend line on this guy. Any closer one? Nope. This is the closest we can get. So I think this is an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, this double top, one top, second top. All right, this is the neckline. It breaks the neckline here, goes back to retest, and then closes below. Right, that's a good confirmation for us that we're ready to go. Okay, so that's what we want to see here as well. That's what we want to see here as well. And until we see that, I'm pretty much sure we should see something like that this week on Monday, most likely. Right, so we'll have that at the back of our minds. Let's see Euro USD, one of the most traded pairs. And excellent. So Euro USD has finally fulfilled our criterion. So as at last week, we had this trend line drawn and we're just waiting for it to break. It did break here. Right, we wanted a retest and a continuation, and has it done that? Yes, it has closed, but this close isn't. Remember, I said Euro USD and GBPUSD, they are very manipulated. Right, they're very manipulated, so don't get carried away. This break is not very convincing. All right, this break is not very convincing. Thank God we have a bearish candlestick closed here. So this is what we are going to do. Now we'll use some skillfulness on this guy. All right, ideally we should take this trade because of this close, right? This very candle, but since the doji, we can't enter because of a doji. A doji in a candlestick is a sign of uncertainty, right? It signifies the presence of sellers and buyers at an equal level. So we are not going to take advantage of that. What we'll do, wait for this guy to wait for the market to open, and let's wait for another green candlestick to close above this level. So when another candlestick closes above this level, then we can take our buy. All right, otherwise we would relax, because I won't be surprised at all to see Euro USD fall back down. I won't be surprised at all. It might not go so low, but it could go as low as your stop loss, because the market players know that traders are going to place a trade. So when they buy, it has broken. Yeah, great. They'll buy. Where is the stop loss going to be? Usually here. It's most likely going to be at this point, or here. All right. So they can easily see that. I don't even need to be looking back and to know that this is what traders will do. So Euro USD can easily get manipulated if you tap down, take out the stop loss, and just give a spike here before going back up. You understand? So if it does that, it's going to now create a new structure for us to look out for again. So let's just be patient. Okay, let's just be very patient. So wait for that break above. Now EURGBP EURGBP is similar to Euro USD. So as at last week, we said we wanted to see a break and retest of that level. So this is more or less like a double top, double bottom, right? And we have broken above it, right? This is the breakage. Let's just recheck this. This is the breakage. All right. So now what you would notice that all of these candlesticks are very irrelevant to make your decision, because if this candlestick didn't break it, this very one, it didn't break it, this is the one that broke it. All right, so if this is the breakage of the neckline, we need a retest, and this is the retest. So all of this is part of the retest. All right guys, all of this, so don't get carried away. All of this is part of the retest. So we need a retest and then a confirmation. So this close here is our confirmation. So by Monday, we can risk taking a buy trade. Let me get rid of this. We can risk taking a buy trade. It will look something like this. So by Monday, I'm not very sure where this would open. So let's just assume this is where it closed. Okay, so let's just assume this guy right here. We'll take this trade, and then we'll put our stop loss beneath this level. Let's see what that will look like. Where's the next level? EURGBP doesn't have the next. Okay, I remember. Oh, great. So this is one of those. Okay, you could as well just risk taking your partial profits here, but judging from the stop loss level, it's not a very juicy trade I would want to take. So we'll just look away from it. Yeah, 1:1. It's not a juicy trade, so there's no need for us to even analyze this. It's not interesting. I'd rather take a sell trade than take a buy trade on EURGBP. All right, if I'm going to take a buy trade, I'll wait for it to show me the expected take profit level. So you'll remember last week I was saying when we get to this bridge, we'll cross it. So this is me crossing this bridge. I'll walk away from this trade. Right, I'll walk away from this trade. If you must take the trade, you could do something like this. Yes, so you see, it's not even worth it. It's still not worth it. All right, it's still not worth it. Let's see something. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what we can do with this trade, like so. So I'll reduce this to this level, this point that has not been mitigated yet. All right, so there's good liquidity above this level, equal highs. So we'll assume the price can easily tap here, right? So this is what we'll do instead. Great, this is what we're going to do instead. We would wait for the price to close above this level. Okay, we'll wait for the price to close above this level. Then we would use here instead to do our stop loss. So let's see how this plays out. It can't even give us a complete 1:2. Guys, we're going to have to leave this trade alone. So these are possibilities, but I'm not interested in this trade. So I'll leave it alone. Let's leave it alone and focus on other trades, guys, because it's in a no man's zone. So let's leave it alone. Let's not even chase it at all. All right, guys, so let's look at what's the next. EURGBP. Can we trade this? Is this guy ready for us? Nope. No man's zone. Euro AUD. I don't think this is ready. No man's zone as well. EUROCAD. So we already took a beautiful trade on EUROCAD. Very beautiful trade. In fact, I even see another trade. So it's currently retesting this high here. Currently, so we could have a close, and we could have the moment we have a close above this level, right, we can go in again, but I am not going in again. All right, so if you haven't taken this trade, I don't know, you just might have missed it, because I don't like trading in the middle of two zones. It's not my thing. I like to place my trades and stop loss at areas of value. Our resistance levels, support levels are areas of value. These blue lines, blue bars, are areas of value. So I'd rather place my stop loss and trades there than putting it in the middle, because anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. So if you haven't taken this trade, I don't really know what to tell you, right? I don't really know what to tell you, because even if you want to take the trade, your stop loss is going to be so wide, because you have to take into consideration this unmitigated zone here, or price. You're gonna have to take into consideration this unmitigated price. So if you're taking a trade, let's assume it closes above here, you can't be putting your stop loss here. It's not safe. You have to take it below this unmitigated zone, and you see how wide it is already compared to the trade we've already taken. Then we want to move it here. So you're just doing a 4. You could risk it anyway. You could risk it. A 4 is to 4.5 is to 1. 4.5 reward to risk ratio, right? It's still okay. No, that's wrong. A 4.5 is to 1 reward to risk ratio is still okay. But we are doing a whooping 8 is to 1 reward to risk, right? So if you're still eager to take this trade, yeah, you could jump in with us, yeah. Or if it possibly comes down, as usual, if it comes down close to our entry, great, you could join the bandwagon. But that's for EUROCAD. EURUSD, do we have something? Absolutely. So EURUSD has already done giving us an entry, but good enough is still on our entry point. All right, so we could watch how this goes. So let's watch how this plays out. I'm not going to dwell on this because it's already we've already entered the trade. Something else we will be looking out for is for it to break this trend line. All right, it breaks this trend line and gives us a retest as usual and a confirmation. Then we can take in a second trade. All right, that trade will be more safer, guys, than this very one we've taken already. Okay, so you can as well wait, but as you can see, we're already in the trade. Let's look at EURUSD. Great, we're already in the trade. So this is what I don't like, this kind of trades, but we had to take it last week because we arrived late. But my risks on this trade, I reduced my risks on this trade. I didn't put complete 3% on this trade because it's in the middle here. All right, so if it takes us out, that'll be okay, and then we can then look for a new entry reason on the support level, and then we can place our stop loss properly and use the remaining risks to complete it 3. All right, so EURUSD, that's done. Let's look at CAD JPY. Do we have anything on CAD JPY? Nope. CAD CHF is playing out nicely. In fact, if we're going to, okay, so I was hoping I was going to share this trade for you guys, right? So initially I said last week, I was saying we didn't have, just like EURGBP, we didn't really have anything to do on CAD CHF. But on a second look, I had to then draw this trend line. I was hoping it would break it, and then we can then buy up to this level, anywhere around here, possibly this level. First level target, and then we could just keep going, second level target, and then third level target. But interestingly, it broke down again. It tapped our level and then broke down again. So you see, this is the reason you have to wait for a confirmation. So let me just get rid of this guy. This is why it's really important for you to wait for a confirmation. So imagine if we had gone in on this trade because it broke our trend line. You're in trouble, big trouble, right? You'll get roasted in like few seconds. All right, so ideally we would have taken our trade here and then put our stop loss here, but we were waiting for a confirmation and we didn't get that confirmation. All right, we didn't get that confirmation, so we didn't take this trade at all. Okay, so right now what we are going to do is to adjust our trend line because it has created a new low. All right, so adjust our trend line and hope it comes back there again. Great. All right, and then let's see how this plays out for us. Okay, if it breaks it, that's only because if you look at the weekly or the monthly, there is no base. CAD CHF has nowhere to go anymore unless we want to use, okay, let's try using our Fibonacci level. It still didn't even, it didn't respect the Fibonacci level. It didn't tap here, so we can't even use it really. So it has nowhere to go. The only place we can, the only thing we can do on CAD CHF is just to buy. All right, so let's walk away in peace and look at NZD/USD. Okay, NZD/USD as well is in a no man's zone. So I'm going to remove CAD CHF from my watch list actually. All right, because I don't see that happening in 1 week time. So CAD NZD/USD has no man's zone as well. We'll walk away from that. NZDJPY, no man's zone as well. NZDCAD. So what I'm going to create time to show you guys how to draw your trend lines, how to set up, mark your support levels, resistance levels, right? It makes your trading very easy. All right, if I'm looking at this chart, within a few minutes I'm done. I don't even need to do a few minutes. Within 5 minutes I've looked through all of them and I'm done because I already have this set up already. All right, it makes it very easy. So I'm going to remove NZDCAD from my watch list for next week because it's not set. Let's on a second look at NZDCAD. Nah, it didn't tap here, so let's not even fall for this. This is a whole lot of liquidity here. So a lot of people have bought on this very candle. I can guarantee you that a lot of people have bought on this very candle and they have their stop losses here. So you can imagine there's a whole lot of money here. All right, so the smart money traders could easily just push this down, tap it, and then you get. So we are not even going to be fooled by that. So let's go to NZD-CHF. Do we have anything? NZD-CHF is close to our support level, but not quite there. Should we take it? Okay, I think I want to remove this from my watch list for this week because I don't see us having a confirmation. It could tap our level, but I don't see us having a confirmation anytime soon, or at least in 1 week. So I'll draw my trend line from here to here. Great, and then see how this plays out. So we'll look at this next week. I'm going to take it out of my watch list for this week. GBPJPY. So my GBPJPY trade already materialized. Like I said, I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Okay, but however, we're in the trade already, and let's see how this plays out for us. Ideally, what we should wait for is for the market to close above this level, right above our yellow line. Then we can take a trade. So you see how it reacted there. Just to tell you that this yellow line is quite very important. See how it reacted there, went up, pushed, tried pushing and closing above, but couldn't. Sellers dragged it down, right? Dragged it down. So let's not even play, right? Let's not even play. Let's see how this goes. So we'll leave that on the watch list. If that happens, that confirms this position we are in, right? So please do not take this trade. I won't advise you to take this trade. Leave it alone until there's a close above the yellow line, right? Our yellow line is on 200.144, right? So until you have a close above 201.144 on GBPJPY, do not buy. Then GBPAUD has given us a good entry reason, but hasn't quite confirmed to us where it wants to go at the moment. So firstly, it has broken our trend line, but we need a close. Let's confirm if we have a close, guys. Do we have a close? Nope, we do not have a close. So we need a close above this level, and then we're clear to go. Let's put it on this red instead. So we need a close above that level, and then we're clear to go. If we do not have a close above that level, we'll sit on our hands until we have a good close above that level. GBPCAD. GBPCAD is in the middle of nowhere. How is it on my watch list? So let's leave that guy alone. Okay, so that's all, guys. That's all, guys. Back to my favorite pair. That's all, guys. So we'll be looking out for these trades, and let's see how they all play out this week. Please ensure to calculate your risks. Do not use more than 3% or even 1% of your total capital, right? And I would equally teach you guys how to something about overall risks at every given moment. It's very important because you might just be using 3% of your account on each trade, and you could have like a couple. If you have 5 trades open on a 3% risk per trade, that's 15% of your account. You're risking. You understand? So we could there's a way we could make it a maximum of maybe 5% or maybe 3% at every given time. Okay, you don't have to take all of these trades. Okay, you could select a few. You don't have to take all of them. And great, they don't even actually all play out at the same time anyway, so that will make things easier. But BTC, I'm waiting for a good push above again. However, my risk is still in place anyway because nothing is guaranteed in the market. But just so you know, we have closed strongly above the previous high, creating a new high. So we've closed strongly above this level, right, with this candle. So this is just a retracement. We've not created a new structure yet, it's just a retracement. So by this week I expect it to push further. All right, guys, so that starts from Search FX for this week. Ensure to like, subscribe, and possibly share the video I would also like to hear your feedback on what you think. What are your observations? What are your suggestions? You really need me to carefully analyze any particular pair for you. We could have that done for you, and we'll post it on the channel as well so that others can also participate. All right, guys. It's been beautiful talking and having this analysis with you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace out.